This year at Mo GameCon, I really didn't have anything on a list that I was particularly looking for, but I always look for Atari 5200 cartridges because I just like to collect for them. And I didn't really have any luck finding any of them, but in the first hour of shopping, I actually found something that I wanted that I didn't know I wanted. And it's something that I've never seen on a convention floor ever. In the 7 years that I've gone to in about 4 different conventions, I have never seen one of these items on the floor. And this item was for the Atari 5200, so I was really ecstatic that I found it. And the item only works for the Atari 5200 2-port model. I have a 4-port, and that's what I usually play on. My 2-port is a little bit wore down, but I just bought it because I wanted to have a 2-port with my 4-port. And the item that I found was the Atari VCS cartridge adapter for the 5200. And basically, this was an Atari 2600 right in the adapter. And since it's pulled power right straight from the 5200, the 4-port model will not work with this adapter. Only the 2-port model. In 1982 was when the 5200 came out. This cartridge came out in 1983. 1983 was when the North American video game crash happened. And for a majority of us Gen Xers, the Atari 2600 was our very first video game console, and our parents weren't willing to go out and buy us a new console that didn't play all the old freaking games, and they just didn't understand why we couldn't play the old games on the new console. So a year after the release of the Atari 5200, Atari decided to come out with the VCS cartridge adapter for the 5200 so you could play your old games. And as a preteen back in the days, I would not want to go back and play the 2600 games when you had a far superior system of the 5200. And playing on a CRT back in the day was how we did it. So let's take a look at Atari Pac-Man for the 5200. And crap, I don't play this 2-port very often, but I'm going to have to fix it because I think I need a cap replacement in it, because look at my colors. My colors are all gone. I got a little blue here and there, but other than that, I don't have any other colors. And I guess I'm going to be doing something this winter. I guess I got to recap this whole thing so I can get all my colors back. And once you recap a whole system, it really looked a lot sharper. So yeah, I don't want to do it, but yeah, it's great when it's done. And let's put this bad boy in the 5200 and see if it works and if it was a good $60 well spent at the convention. When I bought this thing, it was pretty rough. It was pretty dirty, had some sticker residue on it. I cleaned it up, gave it a little isopropyl alcohol bath, and scrubbed it down, treated it with some Black Magic Black Restorer for automobiles, and it looks pretty dang good. And the capacitors are working really good in this cartridge because it has the colors, and the 5200 did not have the colors. So yeah, I will be doing a recap in that 5200 pretty soon. And I needed another Atari 2600 like I needed another hole in the head. I just couldn't help myself. This thing's going to sit in the box with the 5200. I'm not going to get it out and play it because there are so many better ways to play Atari 2600 games. And I know I've given the 5200 controller a lot of grief in the past because it just will give you a hand cramp, but going back and playing the original 2600 controller really gave me a hand cramp. It just did not feel ergonomically correct in my hand anymore. And there's many options for you to get this to your 4K TV and not have it look like hot garbage. And these are just some of my modern options that I have. Like I said, I do not need another 2600, but as a collector, it was just a little FOMO on my behalf. And if I want to play an Atari 2600 or a 7800 cartridge, I'm going to grab my Atari 2600 Plus or my 7800 Plus or my 2600 Plus Pac-Man edition to play those games. And if you got an itch to play an Atari 5200, they do not have a 5200 Plus, but what they do have is a Atari 800 computer mini that will play some of the same games that the 5200 did play. And you can also play on the Atari VCS. This is no longer in production anymore, but if you can find one out there, this is a good option, but you can only play digital games with this system. And another option is the Atari Game Station Go from My Arcade, and I love this thing. And you can put a micro SD card in this and download just a crap ton of ROMs. And if you have no problem sailing the 7 seas, you can get a lot of good games on this system. And with HDMI out, you can play this on a modern TV and also purchase another controller with a trackball and a paddle on it as well. And I just got to mention, you can also pick up a Raspberry Pi and find some emulation out there that is just phenomenal as well. And I have no problem sharing that with you because I buy a crap ton of games. And I think by having a device like this, it just makes me want to buy more games from time to time. And I hope you guys know that there are other options. You don't have to buy these retro things like I do. And if you can find an Atari VCS out there, it was a great way to get a ton of indie developed games. And if the VCS adapter is not something for you because you don't got a 5200, I'm going to tell you right now, there is a game called Atari 50. It's the Anniversary Celebration Collection. And you can buy this for the Xbox Series X, the PS5, the Switch, one, which will play on the Switch 2. And it has a phenomenal amount of games for every freaking Atari system. And not only does it have the old console games, it has the stand-up arcade games right there at your fingertips available to play in their full glorious form. And not only did it have all the games, but it had a lot of history. This was like a museum on one game cart. It was freaking awesome. You could go in, not only play the games, but you could listen to the developers and Nolan Bushnell himself. Hope you guys like to look back at the Atari VCS adapter for the 5200 and some different options of some different ways you could play on your modern TV. And as your summer is winding down here and the kids are getting ready to go back to school, hope you guys are finding time just to relax, enjoy your family and friends, and remember, be kind to one another and game on!